True, because the old one's still sitting there doing jack diddly doo doo squat. I don't know why it kept giving me an error. So we're gonna have to delete the scheduled stream, which helps nobody. So yeah,
Are we live?
we're live right now. Yeah, it's just sucky because the I just got the notification. The original stream that I had set up for whatever reason kept airing out, so was not able to run that one.
That's okay.
Croc, oh crap! But that is how it goes, I suppose. I can see that we are live now, though, so that's good. So let me. Okay, cool. Anyway, so how have you been, man?
I'm good, man. I got a bunch of Celestion speakers in the mail last week.
I saw that.
We got a 212 back here with classic lead 80s. Then I got the 112 Bogner Cube
Nice.
with a classic lead 80 16 ohm. So the 212, I have it on a switch from 4 to 16. I like the 2
Okay.
amps at 16.
Oh.
And the Bogner Cube, I've got that at 16. And those both sound great.
Yeah.
All right, I got to take a call.
Hey, how's it going there, Carno Vector, Spent Electrons? How's it going, guys? He's getting blown up by phone calls right now. It's first thing in the morning for him, so I guess his day's just getting started. But I hope you guys are doing well. So, uh-oh, I think we might have lost him. There he comes. He's coming back now.
Sorry.
It's all good.
So yeah, I've got those cabs. Those sound great. 216 ohms in the 212. That was a little bit on the nose. That was a little bit bright.
Yeah.
But yeah, 116 ohm and kind of an oversized type cab. That's good.
Okay, no.
And yeah, those are sounding good with the high watt or with the Marshall. And you really either sounds good with either. And then I've got all the 112s.
Okay.
Over here, I got.
Oh wow!
I got 3 112 cabinets, and then I've got the cabinet for the Fender amp.
Okay.
That will return soon.
All right. Well, John, why don't you reintroduce yourselves a little bit here for everybody, so they know who you are and what you're about. What? Just give us the rundown.
All right. Well, how's the audio? Am I still at a good level?
Everything was great until you got that phone call, and then as soon as you got that phone call, it started ducking down. But
okay. Well, I'll rejoin. Let me get out of here and I'll rejoin.
Okay. No. Yes, it is internet money. And then there it goes. It's kind of weird because as soon as he disconnects, so do I. It seems. I don't know. We're working through the bugs. It's all good. I think I hit the button right. There it goes. There he is.
A good level.
Yep. Yeah. So it seems like when you get a phone call or something like that, it messes with your mic settings or something. But
all right. Well, the more we know.
The more we know. But it's good now. So the floor is yours.
All right. Well, good morning, all. Here's some coffee.
Here's some alcohol.
So we're on opposite time schedules. We have a 12 or 13 hour difference. And so that's what's going on with that. But yes, I am a guitar player. I am someone who has been in the pursuit of majestic tone, of the magical tone for quite a long time. I've been a forum hopper, a forum jumper. I've bought and sold many an item. I kind of know what I like at this point. Thankfully, through all my trials and tribulations, I've come to a place where I don't really crave any more guitars. I've got enough guitars and maybe a few too many. There'll probably be a few that exit the venue. Um, but yeah, the search for tone is what brings us together today.
Yippers.
And I'm also somebody who kind of knows the psychology of this guitar community and this tone search community. And I'm someone who can put a couple words together and blow people's minds. And I can write a couple paragraphs, and the next thing you know, it can be 50 pages. Um, Luke's taking a little.
I'm back.
So we're still on. You can still hear me.
Yeah, we're good. I just needed to close the door. Sorry.
Yeah. So um, some people may see me as a troll in the guitar community. Um, but I don't know. But I think my purpose has always had something productive attached to it. But yeah, I can get people talking in the guitar community, and um, and I notice things, and I have ideas about things that maybe other people don't see. Um, and yes, I do like to be provocative sometimes when it comes to the guitar gear community. Um, One of the reasons is like another member of the brotherhood here who we might not have officially met yet, or but he'll be around sometime soon. We have the Voyageur channel, and the
Mhm.
Voyageur channel is all about where the antique market and the male fashion market collide,
Yeah.
and that is the vintage guitar market, full of
Okay.
myths and mysteries and magical events.
Yeah.
So um, the the guitar market is a fun thing I've been looking at for a long time, and um, maybe I see things and can put things into words that others can't. But what brings Luke and I together today is that I'm going to take some of the heat off of him and manage the giveaway portion of a larger event, which is a build and giveaway, which will be happening on this channel starting real soon.
Very.
And the giveaway portion can be a quagmire. So he's decided to let me take the reins of the giveaway and keep it real simple and get it out to one of you. So you want to start talking about maybe the build that you're going to begin, and then we can go into the giveaway.
Certainly. Hey, Colby, Andy, Carno, all. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Um, yeah. So I wanted to obviously just do another giveaway. Um, it just makes sense at the moment right now. Until my name is known enough out there, trying to sell these things for anything worth their price is worthless. So I might as well get the tax write off on it. Riley, what's going on? North Korea is going to bomb my house. If you guys haven't already checked it out, Riley there has a video that he put up. It's pretty funny, actually. I like it. um, and I don't want to say it's retribution to be able to do it. The last one, obviously, I know that there were some pitfalls. I got this instead, Colby. There were some pitfalls. Part of it was just problems that I didn't foresee coming. Uh, and then just adherement to how to make everybody happy, which, as we all know, can't be done. So as much as John wants to say he got duped, he still had 4 points more than the next guy. Well, at least 3 points more than the next guy, and he still didn't win. and probably what I'd say it's probably the fairest drawing, at least, that you could possibly do. But this is a chance for even John to put his name in the hat, because I'll allow him to put his own name in the hat. So that was the what would you call it? The surprise, I guess, if you will. So I'm gonna send it to John when it's done. Uh, Probably middle of the year at the rate I get things done. For those of you who know me, I don't. I'm not like Andy. I don't have 17 hours a day to work on these things, but um, actually, I should say I don't have 27 hours in a day to work on these things. I don't know how he finds so much time, but he does. So, I work a full-time job and I get home usually around 3:30, 4 o'clock. And here I am today. Right now, we're doing this. So I get a few hours every day that I can put in. And then, of course, weekends when I'm not doing anything. But I still have things to do. I'm a husband, so I have, honeydews and stuff, as we all do. The amplifier itself is not going to be overtly complicated. I am going to try to make an effects loop work in it. That'll be a first for me. So we're going to do a few firsts on this one. We are going to do 50 watts. So at this point, I already have another 50-watt design. You guys just haven't seen it yet. But this will be the first one that I'm basically going to punch out there to the world at the moment. And then it's going to be more of a high gain. Well, Andy might argue with that, but 4 gain stages. It will have 4 gain stages. So for me, that's quite a bit, and I think that's kind of the spot this amp needs to live. It will rely on a master volume that is not post-phase or post-phase inverter master volume. So it will have a pre-phase master volume, so the output section does what the output section is supposed to do. To some people's enjoyment, it will be done to somewhat of a high watt esque design for the output section and the output section only.
So
That
are your
will,
transformers going to be on opposite ends of the chassis?
at the moment, that's what it's looking like it's going to be. Um, I'm going to do it that way just so I can kind of fit everything the way I want. The power transformer I have is absolutely ridiculous for this build. Um, I'm still doing things my way and how I do the power supply and stuff like that. So there's not too much differing there. So slightly lower voltage than is typical, and then still utilizing a power or an output transformer, excuse me, that will meet the needs to get the 50 watts. So it is spec'd to get 50 watts despite the lower voltage. Yeah, transformers on opposite ends, but one of those transformers is freaking huge. We're talking about a 5 inch by 5 inch, area or so. So on a 17-inch wide chassis, 17 by 8 inch wide chassis, it's going to take up some real estate. I did get all of the transformers in. Um, Never mind me, I'm just getting the box. Here's one of them here, brand new in the box. And then, of course, you've all seen the power transformer already. I was going to use it for my KT88 build. It's the one we're going to use on this one here. Um, so yeah, I'm right now. It's gonna kind of. It's There's really not much to compare it to at the moment. It's not going to have cathode followers in it. I do not like cathode followers, so it will not have a cathode follower in it. At least in the preamp section, it will have the cathode follower that exists in the phase inverter segment of the amp, but that is part of the high watt side of things. The other end of it is just going to be all me. It's going to be all me. So I have my own input topology that I like to use, and it'll be something. I think it'll be something. But we're going to trudge new ground in real time, more or less. So I think that'll be the fun part. So what do you think about that?
Sounds good. Are you using the Metropolis zero loss effects loop?
In fact, I'm one-upping it a little bit.
Oh, the
It's
head first?
basically loosely based on that. It is a Granger unit, and
Oh,
the nice thing about the Granger units is it does have adjustable. You can't really see it, but you can see the one that's right there. They have the adjustable send and return, and then it does have the defeat, so you can actually click this one in and out of circuit. So that'll
Wow.
be a big thing. I am still debating whether or not I want to do kind of a semi-dual channel. Right now, it's meant to be a single channel. That was my intention for it. That's the way it'll stay. But I may put a switch in there that defeats like the gain stages. Basically, allows you to have just the input that goes straight to the straight to this guy or something like that. I'm debating on that at the moment, but I'll try to make it semi-versatile so you can have both, or we'll see how well it cleans up at lower gain settings. If it doesn't do what I'd like it to do at lower gain settings, then yeah, we're gonna put a switch in there. I am not a fan of switches. If you probably already haven't noticed, I usually don't put a full tone stack. I don't usually put multi gain stick, all that kind of. I don't like switches. I hate switches. So objectively, we're going to try to make this one where it's very simple and intuitive. It will be friendly to pedals. And yeah, we're just going to do what we need to do. I'm getting direction from another friend of mine on my phone. He says I'm too low in the frame. I don't want to be up here though.
Yeah, I've
All
got
right.
a Carl Fusion Bear. You can find Fusion Bear 66 on YouTube. I've got a Carl Fusion Bear Plexi 800 on a switch. It has a switch on top of the chassis by the tubes.
Okay.
And when you go to 800 mode, and it's got two separate preamp layouts in the thing. When you go to 800 mode, it's inherently just louder. And I'm
Okay.
not saying there's something wrong with the amp. It's just the Plexi's cleaner,
Yeah.
and so there's less hum.
Yeah.
And so you're sitting there with you're not playing guitar. You'll be sitting
Yeah.
there with your hand around the neck like that. You'll flip the switch, and then you'll hear the hum. And I think
Yeah.
the autistic nature of guitar players, if it's just a little gain boost, that's
Mhm.
one thing. But if you're going from like a lower to a higher on a switch, and then
Mhm.
you hear a little bit of more hum or background noise, you'll be like, oh, well, it's not as perfectly quiet as it was
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
And that's difficult.
Yeah.
It's it can be managed um to varying degrees of success, but um that amp in particular, when I'm thinking of putting not just like a channel two, but maybe like a whole new circuit on a switch,
Mhm.
it's tough
It's
because
tough.
even though that louder channel, that gainier channel might be dope,
Mhm.
when you switch it and you just hear some more noise,
Yeah.
and it's difficult to get that through the psyche of guitar players.
For sure. Definitely. Um, I've never been a fan of convertible style amps. Like there's just the Ignator tweaker is a good example of one. It has a bunch of switches and it does a bunch of different things. It's just an addition to something in the circuit that makes it do something else. The hot side of that amp is just a hot mess, is what I call it. Uh,
Hmm.
I prefer the cleaner version of that channel. And if you gain it all the way up and put a drive pedal in it, you get about the same amount of gain, but it
Yep.
doesn't turn into a hot mess.
That seems
That
like the
amp,
way it always is, man.
yeah,
With not just with one amp, with that's just in general. That's
mm,
how I like to do it. There'll
yeah,
be like a clean channel, a medium channel, and a super overdrive channel.
hmm
It's either the clean channel dimed with a boost in front,
hmm
or it will be the second channel. It's never going to be the third channel for me.
yeah. I have yet to come across an amp yet that was a multi-channel, and the closest I have is a PV Triple X. And the only reason I've kept that over the years is that channel two and channel three are essentially the same. They have a slightly different tonality to them, but gain wise, it's just taste one, taste two. But it has a real clean channel, and I like the clean channel on it enough that it's the only multi-channel amp I've ever kept. Um, and it does the job, I guess. It's still not my favorite sounding amp. I'm not into that. I don't know. I like the rip that it has, but I kind of like, what's the term for it? Tree choppers, or you know how they like the Vermeer. I almost want to call this thing a Vermeer because I know that's what it's going to sound like.
It's
But
a
you know how when they,
chainsaw,
well, no, you know how they put the trees into the chippers, the wood
wood
chippers.
chippers.
I
Yeah.
love that, like that kind of. I love that sound. So,
Okay.
I like having like like you can hear like the chunk come through the distortion. I like that.
Mm.
Some of them are a little too smooth for my taste, and the PV Triple X is kind of one of those ones that's a little too smooth, but it's got a nice rip to it, though. I mean, doing singing solo leads and stuff like that, obviously, it does rather well at that. But so yeah,
So is this going to be a 6L6 amp?
no, we're actually going to use EL34s in this one. We're going to keep it proper to the type of design that it started off as. The power section, being kind of more or less a high watt, kind of cleaned up in the way that I think it should be. And we'll go through some videos on it, on things that I dislike about it. Because there are some things about it that are just like, eh. But yeah, we'll talk about all that in the lives. Today, I wanted to kind of give everybody a sense of what it is going to be required of them to get their name in the hat, and just give them an idea of what it is that they're putting their name in the hat for. And then, of course, answer any kind of questions. So you have opportunities in the thing down there to, you know, clear up, clear up any questions. There's only 6 of you watching at the moment, but that's
Oh,
6
they'll
people.
all watch later. Don't worry about it. They'll be watching later.
Yeah. So as of right now, the only basic requirements are that you have to be subscribed to both of our channels. That's kind of a gimme anyway, because we need to be able to find you. Part of the vetting process is that you have to provide a wind-up video, is what I called it. More or less, it's just a video. You don't have to be playing or anything like that. I don't, you don't need to be a super shredder, but we just want to know that you have the means to be able to manage the amp. You know what I mean?
I
Cabinet,
got to interrupt.
go for it.
I got to interrupt. Uh, Not to dispute anything that you just said,
Hmm.
but remember, I'm going to take the heat off of Luke and let him focus on his build videos. Okay? So these things that he's talking about, send them to the email attached to my channel. He shouldn't be inundated with having to do all this stuff. I'm going to be managing the giveaway. Send it to the email attached to my channel. Okay, carry on.
Yeah, and I'll add his email to this to the description later on. I need to redo this thing anyway because it got borked. But um, so yeah, just something that shows that you have the means to be able to take the amp on at all. Obviously, if you've got like a 1x12 that's only a 25-watt speaker in there, probably not a good idea to be taking a 50-watt amp and putting it in there. Not a good idea. So you'll probably need at least a 212 or a very high wattage single 12 to manage it, because it will put out a solid 50 watts. Secondarily to that, it's just vet you. It's just a way to vet you. Um, and then, of course, whatever John kind of comes up for the rules, it's up to John to kind of decide how he wants to manage those things. So those are the main 2 requirements from the players in the game, or the attendees, if you want to call it that. The only other rules that I have for John to take care of things is that it is random chance. Random chance being that there's no telling who's going to win every time. It's going to be somebody different. Random chance. Which means that we are going to lock down multiple entries. So, multiple entries being that you and your wife can't both, don't try to play tomfoolery with that kind of crap. So, if you have a single channel, put in your thing, leave it at that. Because if we find out otherwise, John will come and get you. um, we just want to make it fair. We want to make it fun, and we want to just try to make it as easy for everybody. It's already kind of pushing luck by having John being able to enter, but with given his weight on me about the whole thing, I can imagine that it will be fair. Um, so
Well, that's very generous of you, Luke, but don't be surprised if I drop out of the competition. I don't want to say right now that I'm not going to be a part of it.
mhm,
That's a generous offer, but don't be
yeah,
surprised if in the days, weeks to come, I announce that I will not be entering my name in the competition. Okay.
yeah. The only other requirement that I had, and this was more for John, but it's just so you guys know what we're up against, is that we had to have 35. Was it 30 or 35? Did I say? I think it was 35 unique entrants, which is to say that 35 people have to be entered in before we can actually start even thinking about doing the giveaway. So, yeah, I'll bet you think it's 30 offset. So Riley, obviously you have a chance. I'm sure you already got your name bashed in there for getting in the hat anyway. But just so you guys know, I mean, there's no telling how many entrants there could be. There might be 100 before we're done. We might get 6 months into this and there'll only be 25. But that was just one of the requirements was 35. And I think when I did mine, it took a total of 6 months to pull it off, and I had 35 more or less different entries. I think it worked out to about 100 tickets overall spread between all that number of people, but we're not doing multiple tickets on this one. So it's one name, one ticket. It is going to be a true lottery, in that sense
Yeah,
anyway.
let's go with 30. And
Okay.
judging by how it went last time,
Hmm.
um, people don't sign up until the very end. But
Generally, yeah.
um, maybe we can change that around this time. You
Yeah.
got to email me right now. Offset Guitar Tech is the only one who has done the simple request that we have put out
Hmm.
and sent proof of being a guitar player who's ready to handle this amp. Congratulations, Offset. You are the first one in the races,
Yeah.
and you guys just need to email me and show that you're a guitar player and that you're subbed to both of our channels, and you're in.
Sweet. Well, that's good to know. I think I did see that video that you posted as well there, Offset. So thank you. Um, so part of what's going to be happening in the upcoming weeks, months is that I'm going to try to leave this more to John because I don't do social media, if you probably don't already know. But we're going to try to hit the forums. So I do have a Seymour Duncan. I'm in Seymour Duncan. I think I'm on the gear page. I can't remember if I have an account there or not. But I'm sure John has multiple accounts with multiple different things. We're gonna try to get this moving through the forums. The last one I did, I put it on Seymour Duncan, and it didn't garner any attention until after it was too late. It was weird.
Mm,
Like all of a sudden, after it was too late to really start playing the game. Everybody's like, "Oh, that's cool. Oh, how did it turn
mhm,
out?" This, silly questions like that, and it's just like
mm,
it was there. So I don't know how many people viewed it, but I'm not the popular guy. So I'm not the noisiest guy in the room. I tend to stay pretty quiet in that regard. So I try to let my work speak for itself, if you will.
mhm.
So I don't feel I need to yell or say anything. So you can make your own judgment.
Well,
With
I
this,
think one thing that complicated the last contest gaining traction in forums was there wasn't an easy way to describe to people what to do. Okay.
yeah,
So with this one, in just a few sentences, we can spell it out and make it crystal clear what they need to do to get
yeah,
in the game.
totally. So, for those of you who are watching this now and don't know anything about the last, giveaway, the objective behind that was kind of me being a dick ass, um, for lack of a better way of putting it, but a dickhead. But in either case, I was, you put out these videos, they're an hour long, half hour long, whatever, and somebody watches 5, 6 minutes of it. You're like, you didn't even get to the intro. So if I'm going to spend the time to make something that hopefully will help you do what you want to do. I kind of like you to at least watch half of it. So my goal with the last one was to force people to watch more of the video. I succeeded in that regard. I almost doubled, well, I at least doubled my watch time on just a single video. So that was helpful a lot. Secondly, it was to obviously try to get people to subscribe, and it did sort of actually not work. Interestingly enough, if you do the numbers over time, I was getting more subscribers just doing the normal everyday crap that I was doing already. As I was doing that 6 month stint of that giveaway, it kind of tapered down just a little bit, interestingly enough.
Hmm.
So, um, it worked, but it didn't work. I'm not complaining. It achieved all the goals I was hoping to achieve, and despite some of the sour notes of that giveaway, it honestly went to where it was supposed to go. I mean, uh, Linus is extremely happy with it. He's playing it every day. He says he just told me the other day. I was talking to him, and he said that he's gone away on a little vacation trip to his in-laws or whatnot, and he's bummed because he doesn't have his amp with him. So he said he's been playing more than ever before, and that was the big idea behind it, was to try to get something that gets you playing, because it really doesn't matter if it sounds good or what. It just has to inspire you. You have to want to play it.
Mhm.
If it just sits in the corner of the room and collects dust, it's worthless. It doesn't matter how much energy I put into it. If it's going to sit in the room and do nothing, it's worthless. So this is an opportunity, I think. Now we're starting to transition into this build, of course, and what its purpose is. Um, I wanted to expand just the. I was telling John, he put it in the thing, but I just want to increase the interest in this craft, I guess, if you will, by you know getting people to see what it takes to do this stuff, know that they can do it themselves. If you have the wherewithal, you can do this. It's just buying parts. The rest of it's just soldering and cutting a wire. So it can be done, but it's just to try to build interest and grow appreciation for this craft, which is good, building guitar amps. Secondarily to that was to try to boost or bolster John's channel a little bit and start getting him down a path, hopefully, where he can become more of a purveyor, or I don't know, whatever you might want to call it, somebody that can do more reviews, connect, network, and culminate people into an area to talk about these subjects and stuff like that. Have these interviews with builders, not necessarily just me or Andy, but other builders and other um, boutique, boutique. Period. True boutique, though. That's the big thing. Is there's a difference between what you see on BAD, which by BAD I'm talking about boutique amp distribution. Those are not boutique. I hate to say it, those are not boutique amplifiers. They ceased to be that the moment they sold into that distribution deal. It's not a guy in a garage building the amp anymore. It's a factory, and it's some of it is done overseas, not all of it, some of it. And then it comes back to the Americas, and sure, some of the finished work is done there. Maybe the completion of some of the assembling and all that stuff is done there. But realistically speaking, it's a team effort, and there is a bottom line. And when I say that there's a bottom line, that means that things are made to a price point. And that's why you have Friedmans now that have turret boards that look like turret boards, but they're not. It's an eyelet board with PCB traces on it. It's not necessarily the
And
worst thing on the
you
planet.
would never know until you flip it around.
Yeah,
But you'll never flip it around because it's connected to 100 different things.
yeah,
But if you saw it from the top, you'd think, oh,
yeah.
damn, this looks beautiful. And you flip it around, oh, if this gets hot, we're out of luck.
You're out of luck. You're putting a wire there anyway. And it's not that it's bad. It's just not the best. Like, they're touting it as being boutique and that the best that your money can buy. Sure, it might be the best that your budget money can buy. They're definitely getting it to the price point. And congrats to them, because some of these companies, I don't know how the hell they do it. I do not know how, like Marla amplification. I'm not bashing on Marla. I have never seen their amp, so I don't know how they're doing it. But the fact that they are able to do it at that price point and still say it's handmade, there are a couple others out there. There's a Swedish company I was kind of razzing a little bit in another forum elsewhere, and I was just
Well,
trying
okay,
to go ahead.
there's a coincidence there. What do North Carolina, where Marla Amps is, and
Mhm.
Sweden have in common?
I have no idea.
Furniture. Furniture.
Yeah.
IKEA, right?
Yeah.
IKEA, Swedish meatballs at IKEA, right?
So
And North Carolina is the United States' biggest furniture maker.
yeah,
So, and what we see when you guys build these amps is what's the biggest pain in the ass about the amps?
the cabinetry.
Making the cabs.
Oh my
So
god.
you got basically I don't know, not a free cabinetry shop, but you're located in the best place in the world if you're in Sweden or if you're in North Carolina to have a
Yep.
cabinet shop because the people already know how to do it and they've been doing it forever.
Yep. It definitely helps, and I'm sure that I know that there's a couple companies that have like Mojo Tone bashing them out. There's a couple other companies in America that are bashing out cabinets. Doctor
Marla might
Z,
have a hidden deal with Mojo Tone.
yeah, maybe. I doubt it. I don't think so, but they got something worked out with Reverb right now. So Reverb is touting Marla quite a bit. So I don't know if there's some sort of back end like kickback going on there. And that's not a bad
Well,
thing.
it's there's some sort of backroom deal going on because the way that the guy makes it seem is it's like I think his story is I was a high school English teacher or something, and then I started building amps during COVID in my garage, and now I'm building this amp company and it's me.
Mhm.
Well, it's more than him, and there's just more players in the game than him when it comes to this project.
Yep.
Uh, and the marketing aspect of the Marla Amps project is that hey, you can get something really special from a sole proprietor.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, you can get something special from a sole proprietor, but the Marla Amps project is not a sole proprietor. There's power players behind the scenes. It's just marketed as, oh, you can support the little guy, right?
Yeah.
Support the little guy. Here's Marla. He named it
Yeah.
after his dog. Bless his soul. Bless his soul.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I wish I could speak badly of them. I don't. I
I,
can't
I
say
have
anything
nothing
bad.
bad to say. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, it's a group effort, whatever's going on with the Marla. That's all.
There's something going on for sure. I don't know how they're doing it, but I don't know how they're doing it. When I first started doing this stuff, it was more or less COVID. Um, that was my goal as well, is try to make that $1,400-$1,500 amp design, and it didn't take long before I was like, about the time I started making a cabinet, that one there, that I was just like, there's no freaking way. Like, there's no way, because I knew how much it took to build just the kit. Like, even if I bought that as a kit, let's say I bought it, this is a Mabel Audio. You can buy this kit right there on Mabel Audio for about, well, at the time it was $350 shipped. So, do the math on that. If it took me 2 or 3 days to build the thing, that's not that much in time. And it was literally just a couple few hours a day. But um, yeah, it was feasible at that price point to get it out the door for about $1,500 if I was willing to only accept 250 or 300 to build it. Then it came to making the cabinet, and the cabinet is what kills it. So, um, I don't know. I don't know how they do it, but I I do not cut corners. I cannot cut corners, and the cabinetry is the part that hurts. So, um, and it's not because it's expensive. It's just each cabinet's kind of engineered directly for the model that I've currently working with. So I'm trying to standardize something. But the way I do the lighting and stuff in these things, the toe-lexing, the corners, like the handles, the whole nine. But by the time you start adding it up, it's significant, and it's mainly the time. It's mainly the time. Um, hold on just a second here while I.
Here we have the Marshall Jack Lee guitars.
This guy did not take that long to make. Once I was able to work out the whole like design aspect of it, but you can see I did some changes. I put some piping on the bottom as opposed to making the seams visible, because I always hated having a seam visible. The back, I know it's vertical right now, but I did piping.
Looks really clean to me.
Yeah, no, it came out great. And then, of course, the thing that I did engineer that was completely different, you can't really see it because there's no lighting, but YDNA is embossed into the, you can't see it, but maybe you can.
Oh, so this is the Cerberus. This is
This
the
is the
Cerberus,
Cerberus.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
This is
gotcha.
the Cerberus. So there is a mirror in there still, but I have YDNA embossed, if you want to call it that, into the mirror itself. And then it's backlit. That's what this cable right here is for. So this plugs into something on the amp that lights a backlight. And you'll notice there's an aluminum chunk here. Well, I have chunks that go along the side and the bottom as well to encapsulate the amp. So yeah, it's raw wood on the inside. You can see the things for the handles there. Like, this was not cheap.
Yeah.
Cabinets are not cheap. It's not the most expensive part of the amp, except for the time. That's where it eats you up. I mean, even if I can
But
see,
it wouldn't eat up your time if you had a wood shop with 5 people banging them out doing one specialized task at a time.
yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
And if by any chance that Linus gets to watch this, this is the high coast that he gave me. This stuff is really tasty. You can see I've worked on it a little bit. The rest has to go to Brian, of course. Brian, if you didn't watch the video that I did of the Sweden trip, or the finale, if you will, of the 5E3 giveaway, go check that out. Linus, thank you again. And yeah, this is the gift that he got us. So this is going to go to Brian. Brian, of course, pretty much single-handedly made that trip happen. If he wasn't able to go with me, it wouldn't have happened. He spent some money to help us get a 360 cam. So that's this guy here. This is what most all of that stuff was shot with. I can tell you right now, I didn't even probably use, but maybe a little over half of the footage that we got. This thing's a brat to work with because you have to edit everything pretty much on a Mac. It's Mac only. So I had to use a tablet to edit all the things down into something I could use in DaVinci to mix down to create that video. But there was over 5 hours of content that I had to mash down into that hour and a half there that you guys watched in that video. So, yeah, no corners cut for you guys. Without Brian's help, that wouldn't have, that video would have never happened. That trip would have never happened. Just saying.
I like the riff that Linus was playing. That was fun. You know,
Yeah.
he took you on a little ride around, maybe played 5 riffs that everybody knows. That was cool.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He was very nervous, and I could tell that he was very nervous.
He did just fine.
Yeah, he did fine. I know it's challenging. There's a comment actually in that video from Lambo Man, and I'm not trying to point him out. And I know that some people will read it and think it's a nasty comment on the surface. There's some context to that, by the way. In a previous video months before, he said, I don't know if I can do this. I'm not doing, I'm not going to do these jump through the hoops things, and I'm not going to do live videos. I'm not going to, none of that. So what he was referring to, the Lambo Man comment, if you go to that video and watch it, is that he's glad he didn't win because he would not have done, the things like allowing me to come into his house, shoot video, and then, have to shoot other video to do another, to get into the game to begin with. So that's all.
The hard part was watching every second of each video you put out, playing your damn game.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been having you stop by the house and crank the amp up for a little while,
Right?
and give you a bottle of booze. That's the easy part.
That's the easy part. Honest to
The
God,
hard part was Luke going, let's play a game.
Yes.
That was Luke. Let's play a game, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's play a game.
For this week, your task is
Yes.
that was Luke. That whole contest trying to get his watch hours. Well,
It worked.
I
Let
guess
me
he
tell you, it
succeeded. He
freaking
probably
worked.
got 3,000 watch hours out of me alone.
Probably. Yeah. I know I got some out of Andy. Um, I know I got some out of Andy. It Hey, sometimes you just gotta play dirty.
That's okay, man. The past is in the past.
The past is in the
But
past.
yes, um, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to take him a while to build this amp. Okay, but you got to send me an email showing that you're a guitar player ready to take a tube head on, and I'll get you in the giveaway. And then when the time comes, as you follow both of our pages, follow his for the next 5 months or something, and then it's going to switch on to mine. We're going to do a couple giveaway. You better be there on game day.
Yeah.
You better have emailed me showing that you're a guitar player, vetting yourself. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
There's
AC,
not going
you
to
can
be
still get in the
the
game.
little breadcrumbs. We're not going to play Hansel and Gretel games. We're not going to play jigsaw games.
Come
It's
on.
very simple. Very simple. You just got to email me, show that you're a guitar player, which is probably a short video because if you just Google search guitar rig and save some images and email me and you're somebody I don't know, I'm not going to accept that. Okay. You're going to probably make a 15-second video. Hey, what's up? YDNA. Yeah, I want to be in the giveaway. Here's my rig. That's it. That'll get you in. Okay.
Yep. All right. Well, here's some going back just a little bit. So I wanted to focus a little bit more on Sweden again because I'm still just super thankful to Linus, by the way. Um, that was the most amazing trip I think I've ever been on. Just FYI. That country is beautiful. It's similar to America in many ways, but the transit system is kick ass. The countryside is beautiful. The weather was, to me, it was great. I like it when it's cold. So, but Linus took us to lunch on our first day in there. So before we did the whole giveaway thing, we went to lunch together. They took us. I said bomb factory, but what I actually meant was a dynamite factory. Used to be a dynamite factory anyway, and that was really cool. It was a wonderful lunch. He took us to see the Vasa, that big ship that was, I call it a boat. I'm sorry if you're in the Navy, you're killing me right now, but it's a ship. I you know I goof that one up all the time. But yeah, he took us to see that, and then he hung out with us a little bit later, took us around the town, kind of showed us the palace or parliament or whatever you want to call it, all that fun stuff. So Brian and I also did some other things that I mentioned in the video that my wife has a friend. Her name is Hannah, and she actually lived in Sigtuna there, which is that place with the castle that was up in there. Beautiful little city or town. Not even a city; it's a town. Like it's teeny. You could probably jog from one end to the other in probably 5 minutes. It's beautiful though, and it's right next to the ocean, or at least some giant lake or something out there. Like it's got a
Mm-hmm.
waterfront view. There's some unreal stuff out there. The interesting so more or less the point I'm getting at is if you're ever gonna go on a vacation trip and you're trying to decide which country to go to, definitely put Sweden on your short list. It's
Cool.
affordable to get there. It's California prices for most everything else once you are there, but um,
Okay.
totally worth it. Absolutely worth
Neat.
it. So, and thank you again to Brian and Linus for making that possible. So,
Well, ladies and
hey,
gents, I'm going to go to brunch. Luke will continue sharing with you about what's to come. Thank you, Luke.
thank
See
you,
you guys.
John. Take care. We'll see you again soon. I'm gonna stick around, boys and girls. So don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. But um, if there's any kind of questions you got, now's probably the time to do it. While this thing figures out what it's going to do. It's saying there's no data, so I don't know for sure. But Bindi, AC, Dale, Colby. It looks like we got Dan back again too. Thank you guys all for coming in. Well, you got no questions, but you can enter to win, excuse me. So I wouldn't say run off now. I'm not going anywhere yet, Bindi, so you're more than welcome to stick around if you want to. Dale, to answer your question about what kind of amp this is going to be, it's going to be, right now, the nickname that I have for it is the dumb watt. So it's got some Dumble inspiration in it, in how the preamp kind of is done up a little bit. It's my own thing. It's nothing Dumble-esque, but the way I stage it is kind of similar, I guess, if you will. It's a real show now, by the way. So there's that, and then the output section. And when I say output section, I mean the entirety of the phase inverter and the output section. Like literally, the entire output section is a high watt, more or less. There are some modifications I am making to it to kind of Luke-ize it, or Legacy-ize it, if you will. That's the tentative where we're at with it at the moment. Obviously, it's still just on paper in my mind. I did start doing some layout work, kind of stealing from the man earlier today, but I did spend a couple minutes here and there just kind of putting together a quick little rough draft of what I think the layout will be, based off of my own idea of a topology, I guess, if you will. So I have my own input section that I like to use. It's kind of my thing. I'm the only one that I know of that does it that way. And then, yeah, all the rest is kind of amalgamated into one. It'll be a solid 50 watts. I suspect it will be between 47 and 50 watts. So that's the plan with it. Based on the math, it should be a solid 50 watts. I can't say that it's all going to be clean output, but it'll be more than enough clean output. You're gonna get the snot out of it for sure. The output section is not meant to distort on this, so the way it is designed, it will be almost entirely, well, any of the distortion that you do here is going to come from the preamp section. So period. I would say that you'll probably get a solid 45 watts of clean, like actually clean, zero distortion output. That's the tentative anyway. No actual tone stack. Yes, Riley, you're correct. I do not like tone stacks. I don't like how they interact. I don't like... No, I'm not going to hand deliver this one, Dale. Sorry. I we'll see how things are looking when it comes to completion. I may hand deliver it to John, because one of the other stipulations on my part is that I'm going to deliver it to John so that he can review it and show it off to people. So this is kind of something we didn't talk about earlier. So you're kind of getting the dirty, if you will. Yes, it will be sent to John so he can watch it first and do a full review and get to... His job is to get to know the amp enough that he could explain it to you, how it works, what it does, all the fun stuff. So traders, you started a new live while I was still in the middle of mine. There are no traders. And Andy can even get in and win on this if he wants to. Not that he wants to, because he doesn't have to. Yes, he will show it through many a cab, and he's got many of them to show through now. How many did you have there? It looked like you had a solid one, two, at least 6. I know you had at least 6 cabinets that I could recall off the top of my head. I have 1, 2, 3. Well, 2, 3. I have like 4 or 5 myself, but I wouldn't. There's only like 2 or 3 of them that I would say are worth even bothering with, to be honest. But so much to do, so little time. So I still need to get my other amp done for his name is Hector. That's a friend of mine, but I still need to get that 18 watt done for him. Now Hector is the guitar tech for Paul McCartney. I still have to do that, so I'm going to try to do not 1 but 2 builds simultaneously And objectively, I'm going to try to do them all live. And when I say live, I'm going to attempt to make this guy work as a webcam. I think they just came out with the update for this to turn it into a streaming cam. So we're going to try to get this DJI Osmo 360 working for that purpose. That's part of the reason that we purchased it, was that we were under the understanding that that was where they were going to go with it. And AC, take care. Have a wonderful evening. But that is the goal there. So I'm going to try to do 2 live like builds at the same time. They will be in 2 different playlists, so they probably won't run in tandem, at least on the same video. Like, I'm not going to do one video where I build 2 amps at the same time. I'm going to have one video for this amp and one video series for that amp, etc., etc. I did clean up my space a little bit. I spent the last couple days just trying to make it so I can walk around my CNC table that I'm sitting in front of right now and just make my workspace a little more accessible and presentable. Lots going on. So we're just trying to do everything we can to make this happen. So yeah, I will put the email address, my email address of Legacy Amplification, up later today, so that you can see all the rules and all that fun stuff. I'm getting prompts in the background from Brian about what I need to do. Some of the things I'm not going to bother with, but this one I will. Yes, I will have a place that you can go to kind of see all the rules visually and in a static spot. Just support wise from you guys, I mean, I have all the core people here. Like, everybody on this channel right now is a mod. This is only like 3 or 4 of you at the moment, maybe 5 or 6, but whatever. Dan, I thank you for coming in. I did not forget you. I see you. It's gonna I thought I did oh, it's a different ding. So you know what it is? For some reason, this guy here is not silent, and it doesn't have a silence button. Of course, because why wouldn't it? This thing is synced to my account, so every time I get a ding on either one of my 2 phones, it comes through. Yay. So that's out of the way now. But there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. I've mentioned it before. You're kind of watching a company grow from the ground up, come up from the ground up. Brian is helping a lot with that to make it happen. He's pushing me in many more ways than one to make that a possibility. I need to get a website done. I'm looking at Brian right now. He's cursing at me, of course, but I need to get these 2 builds done. I have the Ignitor. I have not dumped on it all yet. We are going to try to fit that in when we can. So just to kind of tie that one into everything, the Ignitor Tweaker 15 redo, I think I'm going to call it the Undertaker at the moment, mainly because it's just an undertaking to take on. But that amp I bought many, many, many years ago. I gave it to Brian. Brian basically gave it back. Well, I didn't give it to Brian. I sold it to Brian. And then he gave it back to me. So it's technically not mine. I'm literally ripping apart an amp I don't own. So the objective behind that one is to rebuild it into something much, 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 much more fun and better. Mo better. And we're going to sell that on Reverb. That one's going to be an actual sale, like flash sale. I don't know how it's going to work out. I'm going to put it on Reverb and it's going to get sold. I know it's going to go away. But that one will have its own video series chronologing its progress. And then the project that I've put off entirely right now is thank you, Bindi. I appreciate that. Support is great. Speaking of support, this is not a cheap adventure. So I'm not asking you, I'm not telling you, it's not a requirement. If you want to, you're more than welcome to put in super chats. Shameless plug, I guess, if you will, but this is not cheap. But, you know, any help that I do get will obviously go back into making this become more of a reality. Some of it will probably happen quicker due to the money. Money's not the problem right now, to be honest, but Time is more my problem, but obviously, there's planning stages that have to go out because I'm sitting there going, okay, I can't get all these things yet, so I'm going to have to do this before I can do that. Some of that comes down to just as simple as buying wood, Tolex, and all those other fun things. But so if you're feeling generous, more than welcome to help out. But uh, don't do it now. Do it later. In either case, yeah, I think I've kind of gotten through everything that I need to get through. But the KT88 build that I was going to do, I'm pushing that one off a little bit, mainly because there's no purpose for it. It was just that amp was more I'm going to do it because I can type of thing. I am repurposing some of the parts from that build in order to do this giveaway. I do not know if this giveaway amp will be a one of one yet. If it's something I really, really, really like, and it seems like something that others will gravitate towards, it might turn into a production design. I need to have another larger wattage amp out there. Part of the reason why the KT88 build was even thought up to begin with. But at the moment, the amp that's going to be given away today will be a one of one, much like the other giveaway is at the moment too. I know that I'm going to put that one into production, the 5E3 style one that I did, the Peacemaker as we've been calling it. So the Peacemaker will probably become a production amp. It does have a couple of things I want to redo on it to refine it just a little bit. So there might be a version 1.2 coming out, but at the moment it's a one of one. The 18 watt, I've got 4 or 5 of those built. I got a couple sitting behind me here that are already earmarked, and my 30 watt design that I have, which uses the EL84s, you can't really see it, it's that one right there. That one is going to be a production amp for sure. You've heard it before actually on this channel. I showed it off when I was doing the pedal whatever you want to call it, review or whatever, showcase. I am still working out not bugs with it so much, but just like little fine tuning bits with it. I haven't had much of a chance to fine tune it that much lately though. That's why it's on the thing now, is because I started focusing back on that one a little bit. So when I'm not doing all these other little things, I'm kind of doing some other stuff. Just FYI, there's always something going on here. The Atlas, you have seen that one, you've never heard it. That one is across the way in somebody else's hands right now, being bludgeoned to death. He plays it pretty much every day, and I can tell you right now, it's almost always at full blast. That one is not a high wattage amp, even though it has ginormous amounts of iron in it. I think it's basically an 18 watt, maybe a 20 watt on a good day. But it's just the way that amp wanted to go. So I don't know if that one's going to have refinements, but as soon as I get it back from him and do my finishing touches on that, we'll do an actual build, or not a build, a review of it. The other amp that he has right now, Michael Cavalier, is who I'm speaking of. He has my 50 watt design. That one is it started off as more of a Trainwreck Express or something like that, if you will. That's where I started with it, and then I knew that obviously I wasn't going to go with that it was going to go a different direction, and it very much went a completely different direction. It is currently a 50 watt, a solid 50 watt design. It has EL34s, and it is plopping. The last I checked, it was straight up 50 watts, almost on the dot. But it is kind of in AC50 territory, which isn't saying a whole lot. So most of you don't know this, but like a Marshall JCM, not JCM, excuse me, Plexi, a Marshall Plexi, a Vox AC50, and the Bassman, the Fender Bassman, those are all kind of exactly the same amp. They got different skins on them, and they kind of have like little things here and there that are a little bit different about them. This one is most closely aligned with an AC50 in terms of just its overall topology, sans the fact that it has a lot of my own stuff going in. Obviously, the way that I do things is a little different. I have my own input stage going on and my own stuff going on. So it's doing something cool. Still a little bit of refinement to go with it. He won't give it back to me. He keeps fighting. Every time I try to get it back from him, he's got some other excuse why he needs to hold on to it for a little longer. But so I must be doing something right. I'm pretty close, but I could see based on the settings that he had that I have some refinement to do. He likes it where it's at and how it works where it's at, but I need to refine it a little bit. So I'll get that back soon, and we will take care of that. So with that, I think I've beaten through everything I need to beat through to go through this live. So just keep posted here. There's going to be blurbs coming up. There are going to be videos coming out. For those of you who are subscribed, I think I have 4 of you now, which is unbelievable. I am going to create more content for you. I appreciate that. That is why they call it the Keep Building subscription. I think it's $5 a month, $4.99, whatever the hell it is. But the reason I call it Keep Building is more or less the little bit of income that it draws in right now is just help make it possible to do stupid little things. You know, at the moment, I think with 4 subscribers, it's, what is that, $20, something like that a month. That, well, maybe $20 I'll actually get to keep, perhaps. But with that, it affords buying stupid stuff like resistors or stuff like that. So I will create special content for the subscribers of this channel. So if you don't have any interest in doing super chats, you're more than welcome to sign up for yet another subscription. That's totally up to you. But every little thing obviously will make things happen a little bit quicker. So again, not asking, just saying. But I think with that, we're going to call it. I got enough shameless plugs in there today, and we've talked about enough stuff. So if there's not any questions between the 9 of you that are here, then I'm going to call it a day. And I think we're a little over an hour right now, so I think we're spot on time. Oh, pedals. Dale, did you ask about pedals? I'm getting side notes, and my thing's still dinged. I will be doing more pedals. Not in the near future, though. Yes, and then of course Team YDNA is going to get the email thing situated. I'm going to put his thing in the description here in a bit. Hey, no worries, man. Sorry we missed you. You missed out. So you're going to have to watch the whole video all over again to find out, because I'm not going to rehash it all. Dale asked if I build pedals at all. Yes, the answer is yes, but I'm trying to do just tube-based pedals. Let me get one and I can show you what I mean exactly. So, this guy right here is one that I have built. Put it right way up. You can see it's got 2 12AX7s in there. This is based on a topology that I'm currently using in one of my other amps. I'm not going to say which one. We'll divulge all that later. But more or less, it still uses a 9-volt power supply. And inside of this guy, there is a voltage converter that takes 9 volts of high amperage input. So this thing here produces like 1 amp of power, right, at 9 volts. And in here, I don't need 1 amp worth of power to make 2 12AX7s work. I mean, I think you only need, like, I don't know, not that much. So this little converter exchanges that 9 volts up to 250 plus volts. So I think there's like 258 volts or something like that running around inside of this little guy, still going through that little hole right there. And that will then power the tubes. It uses standard heating for the tubes, so it uses a 6.3 volt, just like you normally would in a guitar amp. So essentially, as far as this thing is concerned, it is a tube preamp that would be just like as if it was in a guitar amp, for the most part. it still needs some refinements. This is a V1 of 1 at the moment, so this is the only one like it. It uses my input topology. When I say my input topology, I mean I'm using my input topology, and it goes into another stage that is kind of similar to like a plexi. It's more or less a plexi, kind of. But yes, I want to create, I think, at least 2 other variants of this that have varying degrees of distortion. I'm not going to do reverb, delays, and stuff like that. They're going to be preamp pedals. They're going to be either a boost, more or less a boost type design, a blues kind of bass design, and then a higher gain, at least a higher gain version. Right now, this one's kind of more of in the boost slash low gain blues breaker kind of level of distortion. Again, still some refinement to do on that. But I'm kind of sidelining that. That whole series kind of got, what's the word for it? It didn't do what I'd hoped. There weren't people that were that interested in it. I think it's mainly just because there wasn't much to see out of it. Like, oh, he's just building a pedal. So I kind of feel like it might be more interesting if once I start doing the other builds and complete them, then I can compare and contrast all of them and then break them down a little bit more. I think having the finished product first is going to be more important than showing how it's actually done in real time. That kind of thing. That could be me. I don't know. I might be wrong. Maybe I misread the room on that one. I don't know. So yes, always going to be more. At some point, this channel is going to have to start to transition towards legacy amplification. I am not pushing it yet because I'm not really ready for sales yet. And it's not that I'm not ready for sales. I'm just not ready to put a storefront up yet or anything like that. If you have one of my amps that you want, then hit me up. We'll talk about it. The challenge is, of course, you can't go to the store and listen to it. So we kind of have to work something out. That's kind of part of what this whole series is about here, is to try to increase some of the people out there that can view it and review it. So between having John do his little bit with the amp and then having the winner do their little part with the amp, because that is a requirement. You do have to post a video when you're done. After you get the amp, you have to post a video. That is a requirement. So I think between that, it's just to help drive kind of some interest in it. With the ultimate goal, of course, just pushing the appreciation and interest in true boutique. Some butthead in a garage actually building the damn thing. Who gives a crap about why, how, what, where, when, and all that jazz? So, and with all that, I think we've crushed through everything. So I want to thank you guys all so much for being here with me this whole time. I know there's 10 of you on here now, but I think it's time that you all go back over to Andy's channel and tell him Luke sent you. So with that, thank you guys so much. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. Goodbye. Boop. I think I hit boop. I didn't hit boop. End.